I'm very keen to see on what some of our finalists are going to be wearing today, with the whole smart outfits. It's going to be quite interesting, I reckon. Last time we had, who was it? Jeff showed up in a suit, even though he wasn't presenting, I believe.
That's awesome. Young business people of tomorrow.
I love it.
Here.
I've just posted the
live stream. Great.
I'm gonna send you that on the manager's chat. We're all set.
I'm gonna broadcast.
Hello, Ethan. Sorry, could you make this co-host instead? I think I joined on a different device. Oh wait.
And Navjeev is on as well.
So you want them as co-host?
Yes, that one.
Okay, Pavan, I think you're going to need to do that. I can't do that as co-host. So can you pop Sanju, them as the co-host, please? Thank you.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, Navjeev. All right. Navjeev with the cool background, man. Startup SG. I like it.
Yeah, it's our corporate background.
Nice. Okay. T-minus 7 minutes, guys. Hope you're all excited.
Just putting. The link is in the biography on Instagram, right? I'm just gonna post really quick.
I think so. I mean, it's in the chat as well here if you want to find it there. And
yeah, let me see.
It's pretty amazing that all these students, I mean, when you guys were 10, 11, 12 years old, what were you guys doing? I mean, I was certainly not thinking about a business idea.
Yeah, I was playing a lot of basketball.
Oh yeah? Caitlin and I used to play basketball in college.
Yeah, we did. David used to beat me a lot.
Well, that's not true.
Yeah, these kids are really impressed. They talk about market research and, all this stuff. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, yeah, keep doing that. And all the while I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life?
Come on, I didn't think of this first.
I know, right? Or like, I'm like,
this
God,
is brilliant.
Sharks, are you guys going to be nice or not nice today in the judging competition?
Do we have roles on who's supposed to be the mean judge and who are the nice judges?
You guys can do what you wish.
Yeah.
I feel like Joe's ready to be Simon Cowell, honestly.
Oh, we haven't gone Sharks there. Okay, we've got talent. Britain's Got Talent or something. All right, we can do that.
I
I'm gonna
mean,
be
He was probably the nicest person I met at Goldman Sachs when I worked there.
oh,
I
wow.
want to be like Barbara Cochran. She's the smartest of the whole bunch.
Love it. Love
Who's
it.
gonna be Mr. Wonderful?
Have all the Sharks received the evaluation link?
Yes, thank you.
Received? Okay, Mehdi, I'm just getting it sent. Arjun's just sending it to you right now.
Can I say hello to the other Sharks? I don't think we've ever met.
Yes, of course. Please
Good
go ahead.
morning. Good morning. I see I have one colleague here from Singapore.
Yeah. Morning. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Navjeet. How are you?
Good. Yeah, it's very exciting to be a judge for this competition. As they were saying, it's insane that children of the ages of 9 to 15 are thinking about such things. And yeah, when I was their age, not even the slightest clue on how to start a company.
Well, I guess if you were not thinking about it, you can imagine how far away from our thoughts it was. Probably another generation before you. So there you go.
Definitely.
So we learn, we live and learn, as they say.
We do.
Joe, you're up so late, and is it in New York? Where are you?
Yes.
Nice to meet you too, from sunny Singapore.
Nice to meet you.
And I think Mehdi is joining us from where in the US?
I'm in Providence, not too far from Boston at the moment.
Ah,
I lived in Providence for 3 months.
Yes,
Working
very nice.
working on a political campaign for then Senator Pell.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been here for about almost 20 years, except for the few summers where I got to meet Devi and her brother at Duke for a couple of summers. Is your brother around? Is he going to be watching this? Is he in Belgium at the moment?
I just texted him actually. I think he may join for some of it. Yeah. So
Okay.
he remembers you very well. In fact, our whole family does.
Yeah, it was great to meet you all, and so excited about what you're accomplishing over there in Singapore at the moment.
Yeah, we really are. I think, a lot is changing in the education sector right now, but for us, we think content is not changing quickly enough, right? So that's really what we're trying to change here. And
Wonderful.
you'll see some of the students, I mean, some of their ideas are brilliant. Actually, all of them, I think. I got a call this morning from one of the students. He said, Miss Davy, I'm sleep practicing. I'm practicing in my sleep. So I said, okay, let's practice together.
Go ahead and start, buddy. All right.
We're going to give it 1 second just so that we can let a couple more people in maybe, but that is it. We're going to start right after that.
So a lot of people are watching on YouTube, by the way, not on Zoom, because I'm sending the YouTube link, the live stream link.
Devi, you send us the edited version of the YouTube link, or will you just send us the raw version?
We will, Arjun, are you sending the YouTube link?
Yep.
Okay, great. Yeah, we will send that over.
All right, folks, thank you for joining us today. We are going to get started in just 1 second. We're hoping that we can get a few more people on. I know that some people are struggling to jump on right now, but give us 1 moment and we will be right with you. Thank you for your patience. right, ladies and gents, I think it's time to get going. I'm pretty excited. I don't know about you, but here we are. And I hope for all of those who are watching on YouTube, thank you for joining us as well. I really appreciate it. But let's get this going. Let's get the show on the road. So good morning, participants, esteemed judges and viewers. My name's Ethan Barnes and I work here at Ascend Now as part of the management team. I'm going to be your host for this morning, evening, or even late night for some of our participants. Yep, those folks in Europe, that's going to be a tough one for you, but I'm glad you're here. But wherever you are around the globe today, we are absolutely stoked to have you join us as these young entrepreneurs lay it all on the table. So welcome to Ascend Now's second edition of the Shark Tank. Now, since our inception 3.5 years ago, Ascend Now has actually grown really quickly to encompass a team of more than 70 teachers and over 600 students. Now, our goal is to bridge that gap between learning and enjoyment. And we want to vault past this common pitfall and enable our students to gain skills that will serve them well through their academic careers as well as beyond. Now, we do this through a three-pronged approach. Firstly, each student's different. It's really that simple. So why should we be teaching everyone to fit into a square puzzle piece when in reality, we all engage with knowledge in our own unique way? Therefore, our personalized approach to learning is the first of our three prongs. Now, secondly, we love the fact that we have no idea what jobs are going to be there in the future. Absolutely love it. And we want to prepare our kids for a world that isn't even here yet. In fact, it's a world that these kids are honestly going to be creating. So our second prong is our push to imbue students with the higher order thinking skills necessary to succeed in any given field. And finally, communication and collaboration. We feel that the social aspect of development is important for us to address with our students in order to build emotional literacy and become well-rounded citizens of our ever-changing world. But that's not what you're here for today. So I will definitely just keep that to myself for a little bit. But for today, we are here to celebrate the effort that these bright young folks are put into developing their own businesses. Before I run you through the format for today's competition, let me introduce you to our panel of judges. First off, we have Miss Preeti Devi, an entrepreneur and part of the board of directors at United World College of Southeast Asia. Previously, Miss Devi also has 2 decades of experience in strategy and consulting. Second, we have Mr. Mehdi Mutahir, who is Director of Global Initiatives at the Legatum Center for Development and Entrepreneurship at MIT. Next, we have Mr. Joseph Stern, who is General Counsel for Goldman Sachs Merger and Advisory Practice. Finally, last but not least, we have Mr. Navjeev Singh, a development partner at Enterprise Singapore. He's also previously worked for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here as well. Now, for the format, each finalist will have 4 minutes to present their idea before answering questions from our panel of judges for another 4 minutes. When there's about 30 seconds left, I will ring a bell to let participants know that they will only have 30 seconds left in their presentation. Now, please, participants, do not hesitate. Don't worry about it. That's all I'm going to do, and then I'm going to mute myself again. But just know that that's when you need to start wrapping it up. Finally, there will be 1 minute as we switch over finalists. And during this time, that's when the judges will be scoring our finalists. And for the viewers, we're going to pop a quick poll question up about the presentation and see what you guys have to say. So before we begin, I would like to personally just mention that I could not be proud of every single finalist here today. I would never have thought about this stuff when I was your age. And I want you to know that each one of you is an absolute inspiration to me. Before we get going, I'd like to hand the floor to Ms. Devi Sani to say a few words. Debbie?
Thank you, Ethan. A very warm welcome to you all. For those that don't know me, my name is Devi, and my team and I founded Ascend Now in the hopes of answering one question. How do we help prepare students for a rapidly changing future? We came to this conclusion. If we are to build and create this future, we must work together. That includes teachers, students, parents, systems, everyone on this call, and everyone not on this call. And for us, that begins with a mindset, an entrepreneurial mindset that transcends everything. We tell our students to dream big and persist, fail and repeat, succeed and repeat, and you will find that probabilities, they mean very little. Take your distractions and turn those into learning opportunities, innovation centers, centers for productivity. So I'm humbly asking everyone on this call to pause and reflect for a moment. When you were 10 years old, 12, 13, 14, what were you thinking? Today, these students have competed out of 215 applications and have made it as the finalists of this competition. So let's together unlock their potential, the potential we already know exists, and create the leaders of tomorrow, today, this very moment. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Debbie. Really appreciate your thoughts on that. And absolutely, I do think we need to reflect a little bit because things are changing all around us all the time. And we really want that to happen. And we want to start with our kids because I think they've got the best and brightest ideas out there. We just need to help them be able to implement it. Anyways, without further ado, I would definitely like to introduce you to our first finalists, Ardian and Jeremy, and they are here to present something pretty interesting to you guys. So, Ardian and Jeremy, the floor is yours.
Good morning, esteemed judges. Thank you for taking your valuable time to allow us to present our idea.
So what is our product? Well, Gallerus is a free online platform built from the ground up to deliver the best feedback for aspiring artists worldwide. In a nutshell, Gallerus is a space for artists to post their artwork to a broad and vast community, receive feedback, and do the same to others. Our users can also upvote artwork as a form of feedback, sell tickets for their galleries, hold auctions, and repost people's artwork to share with others. Now, a gallerist is an owner of a gallery, and we like to think of every one of our users being like such. We think of ourselves as building a stepping stone, a leap for artists not only to get their work recognized, but embrace our heartwarming community.
So our revenue model. So our first method of obtaining revenue will be the basic advertising model. So apps such as Instagram, YouTube, apps that you all use, etc., they all use the same essential basic revenue model that we're using, the advertising model. But it's important to know that the company that's probably going to advertise in our website will be probably art companies such as Ibis Paint X, a mobile drawing app, or Adobe Photoshop, and some others. So our second form of revenue will be through a premium model. Essentially, the artists, they're going to be able to promote their work by paying for more models. By paying for more. Essentially, this will give them more viewership and it'll allow for their work to be seen more in more people's feeds. This is essentially close to the LinkedIn premium model. And for our last method of obtaining revenue, it's going to be called art galleries. So essentially what we're doing is allowing our artists to host their own art galleries and sell tickets for them. So people can it's essentially a virtual art gallery. Yeah, we get a cut of their tickets.
We believe in inclusion. So Gallerus is expansive in its incorporation of the visual arts, and we have 11 main communities housing its own unique and welcoming categories. We strive to keep a focused yet open view on helping the visual arts in the 21st century thrive. And to do this, we allow our artists and users to craft the perfect categories for their own respective community, not to divide, but to unite common interests. The basis of galleries are these main communities, each of which are a different type of art. Within these, users are free to create their own sub-communities in a style that they specialize in and that others can join. For example, users in the painting community might have created categories such as acrylic modernist and watercolor. Our broad categories allow users to first narrow down their area of expertise and then join user-created communities to pinpoint their interests. Some of these communities are painting and drawing and architecture. Incorporating Quora's best elements, every user creates a profile. This means that when you receive feedback from someone, you can not only see their past feedback, but also their own artwork, qualifications, auctions, and galleries. This provides legitimacy to all feedback through helping our users see how experienced someone is.
So our target customers. So our platform was developed as a platform for aspiring artists to gain feedback to improve. Naturally, our target customers would be young designers, painters, sculptors with little to no experience looking for feedback to improve their work. Experienced artists are also welcome, so they could provide their professional opinion to let these young artists improve and flourish. Aside from a professional's opinion, we'll be also targeting art enthusiasts to give their own personal opinion so we can have a more diverse point of view and so our young artists can naturally flourish in this environment.
All right, sorry folks, I'm going to stop you there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the floor a little bit to our judges at this point in time. If you would like to hear a little bit more, I think there might have been one more slide potentially from the looks of it there.
Yeah, one or two.
If the judges would like you to ask you to finish that, I'm very happy for you guys to finish that. But judges, do you have any questions at this moment? Would you like to hear the end of the presentation? All right, looks like we're going to hear the end of the presentation. Boys, please continue, finish off.
So using Google Trends, we have found a steady increase in the last year attributed largely to the COVID-19 pandemic. And as you may have seen on social media, there are millions of artists who have been struggling for footholds of attention. And we have an amazing opportunity to capitalize on that and provide them with the best art-based platform. With a 6% annual increase in the market, $40.5 million in art transactions last year, and a 9% decennial increase only further drives this point home. With a highly valuable market of $64.12 billion and some estimates projecting an increase in $7 billion in the next year, the art industry has clearly never been stronger. Fueled by everyday people, this market relies on upcoming artists, those that we wish to help and who therefore are our potential customers. Thankfully, there will be no shortage of artists and therefore customers anytime soon. There are over 300 accredited art schools in the US alone, each of them producing new generations of art.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've had some technical difficulties with audio, but Jeremy, would you like to continue where you left off?
Sure. So why now? So I heard a quote that timing is everything. And right now is the best time to capitalize on the surge in artwork by the COVID-19 pandemic. Stuck at home and in quarantine, many have turned to art to get through the pandemic. And this is further exacerbated by the rise of technology and its positive impact on art. With the advent of technology in the past decade, aspiring artists have been utilizing design applications. As a result, the design technology industry has never been stronger, and artists are, as my partner said earlier, increasingly reliant on their devices to further their artwork. So this is a little bio about us, essentially. So we're just two businessmen from Indonesia who have a passion for art. We're not much, no one knows us, but the only reason why we're here and with an idea is because of criticism. Our teachers, friends, families, they've criticized us and gave us feedback. And that's the only reason why we've been able to grow and have ideas. Because to us, criticism is one of the biggest factors into becoming a successful person. Of course, we're not successful, but we've managed to grow only because of criticism. We plan to use it as a tool to help these young artists reach the top. And
beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Really appreciate it. And audience, sorry that I'm not unsure what happened about there, but don't worry. Jeremy did very well in your stead. Judges, may I open up the questions to you, please? Miss Devi, do you have anything for the boys? I do apologize. I believe you're on mute right now.
I want to thank you both very much for participating in this incredible competition. But my first question to you is, how do you think your product is unique compared to your competitors that already exist in this space?
Well, firstly, Gallerus has a major focus on its community. We're very much very focused on building our own very unique community, while others are more about artists trying to get profit or trying to get recognized by major sellers. Us is truly about building something that people can enjoy and that people want to go on every day.
Sorry, if I may just ask one follow-up question, but to have success for this platform, you do also need the revenue. So it's probably not just about appreciation and value, but it's also about creating a business. So how do you differentiate between the two things?
Can I add on to audience point?
Sure.
So basically how we're unique and what makes us different is that we have a lot of viewpoints. We have a very diverse view, I guess. A very diverse point of view. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. So essentially, I've looked at the other art websites, and what I see is just the people from their website just telling them what's wrong and what's good. And when I see all their criticism, they're very similar. But us, we're diverse. We have a professional's point of view. We have the community's point of view. We essentially have the whole world giving them feedback.
Yeah, and I think that to add on to that, for example, if you look at comparisons such as like if you have something like Britannica, which is only edited by a bunch of experts, and you compare it to something like Quora or Wikipedia, which is essentially you get all your information from everyday users. They're both successful and they're both different.
Right. And did you test this with a prototype?
Not yet, but we do plan to.
Thank you.
And of course, we can make some changes over time, because over time, our product, it's gonna continue evolving, just like us humans.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. We're going to take one more question. Mr. Singh, would you like to ask a question, please?
Yes, thank you very much for the presentation. My question is, for this business model, it focuses a lot on the network effect. It will only succeed if you get enough people that are in this niche to be on board your platform. What's your strategy to get your reference customer base onto your platform? How do you reach out to them? And how do you plan on reaching out to these new aspiring artists that have been working for 1-2 years to join the platform and meaningfully engage? What's your strategy for that?
Thank you for that question. So first of all, we know some people who have contacts to some artists, and they're gonna be the professionals. As for the community, we could ask those artists to help us gain some community as they have fans. Or another way we can do it is something we would like to test this, because we don't know if it's actually gonna work. So essentially what we think we can do is just going to a website, posting something very interesting, just something really simplistic, some like maybe art in like an art thread in like Reddit, and just have a link in there. So it'll make people wonder what it is, and they would want to know more. That's just two of the ways we can do it. Now, Ardian would like to continue on.
And then I think building on from Jay's point, with the necessary funds and capital from investors such as like panelists and you people, you guys, I think we could definitely incorporate some very heavy advertising on other social media platforms. So especially we can actually even advertise on platforms that are competing with us, so that we can take some of their base and bring it to us.
Okay, thank you.
Very cool. Thank you. I apologize, judges. We don't have time for any more questions at this point in time, but I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to ask some of the others. Ardian and Jeremy, from me at least, a round of applause. I quite enjoyed that presentation. And for the judges, on your scorecards, their names are there. And for the viewers, we're going to pop up a poll for you right now to have a bit of a question about this. Just as this poll runs, I can definitely see that there's a sort of trend that the timing is relatively good in general for most things. I personally think it's quite good. I think that the critical thinking aspect of everyone during this pandemic, at least online and going and giving feedback to things, has become a lot more prevalent in today's society. So I think that's pretty important as well. Anyway, I'm very impressed. Here are some of the results that we've seen. Oh, I do apologize. Here are some of the results, and it seems like they're quite interesting. So I would like to introduce our next couple of finalists, though. They're a brother-sister team, and they have a really cool prospect for both parents and children, actually. So Ava and Christian, the floor is yours.
Hello. Before we start, we are going to be showing you a short video.
All right, Christian, so what do you want for your birthday this year?
Can I please get some V-Bucks?
Some what?
V-Bucks.
What are V-Bucks?
V-Bucks is basically like a currency for video games, so you can buy stuff on it.
Why would you want to pour all your money down the drain and waste them on V-Bucks?
Well, recently, these games have added something called Kidvester. It takes 20% of your money and puts it into the game stock.
Oh, that's interesting. All right, well, I'm willing to learn more about it. So tell me more.
Hi, my name is Christian.
Hello, my name is Ava.
Together, we created the one and only
Kidvester. Hello, everybody, and hello, judges. Today we are here to show you our startup business, Kidvester.
We made this business because we both love gaming, but we aren't always allowed to spend money on games.
I'm sure there are many children like us, and it's crucial that we open our eyes and see how much money we're spending on video games.
We don't want to stop doing the things we love, and we don't want our parents to get upset with us. And with Kidvester, we can make that happen.
Our aim here at Kidvester is to redefine the gaming industry by adding in a new dimension, investing.
Our idea is to allocate 20% spent on digital goods into Kidvester, a secure platform.
So, what is our value and why are we different? I'm sure there are many parents here with children that game too much.
Our service will be embedded into the game you buy from. So, when you buy something, you'll have an option to use Kidvester. You offer free trial for the first time, but after that, it'll cost $2 per purchase.
If you use the payment account, there's a $5 fee, so you can use Kidvester as many times as you'd like, but you would have a monthly fee of $5. And also with premium, you can choose to change the amount of money that goes into the company's stock by 5% with a starting percentage of 20%. And you can also choose if you want to just keep the investment with the company that you bought digital goods from, or you can use it to spread into hundreds of different companies, gaming companies in general.
Parents would like this idea because their children will put money into the stock market and buying games, and children will be happy because they get to spend money on their favorite games. So, what would we do if the gaming industry isn't popular? So, guess how much the video game industry will be worth by 2023? Type your answers in the chat.
Well, if you thought it was C, $200 billion, you are correct.
This shows that this is a great market opportunity for us. Additional is growing in the gaming industry. There will be more players and double the positive impact of our business.
So what is the market size of the gaming industry, you may ask? In short, it's huge. If you look at all the information shown on the screen right now, you would see that it shows a lot about the market of the gaming industry. Because almost half of the population plays video games, we have a huge audience for this game.
So this is the main idea of Kidvester.
Thank you so much for listening. Any questions?
Wow, brilliant for timing, guys. Really well done. Mr. Muta here, we'd love to hear from you.
Yes, thank you so much for this amazing presentation. And the timing couldn't have been more perfect with the GameStop scandal and short stock that is happening in the United States right now. So if I understood correctly, if individuals buy software from you or games from you, they will have extra funds to be able to invest. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, you are mostly correct. So what we will be doing is when you buy digital goods from any game, we would take 20% of that money and we would put it into the game's stock.
I see. So the stock of the company making the game. Okay, I get it. I misunderstood originally. So the proceeds will go to whom? If your stock bets are good, to you or to your consumers?
The stocks will go to our consumers. And if they put the stock under our name, we would be getting the dividend.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for your question. Judges, does anyone else have any questions for Ava and Christian?
May I ask a question? I'm so impressed that you've thought about this. But I just wanted to ask you, what problem exactly are you trying to solve with this?
Basically, the problem that we're trying to solve is that most of the time when parents want to, a kid wants to buy something on the game, they're not allowed to get it because the parents just think like, oh, it's a waste of money. Why would I spend money on it? But because of Kidvester, 20% of the money that they spend goes to the stocks. Parents will be more likely to buy the game. So that means the company that we have will be happy about that because they're going to make imagine like the game is $100. Would you rather make $0 or 80?
So because over time, obviously, because by 2023, the gaming industry will be worth a lot of money, it's going to slowly grow the amount of money that you put into the stock. And not only that, if it was a public company, the money that the 20% does not go straight to them, so they wouldn't really care. But the reason they would like to do this is because it would at least get the change loose in the parents' pockets, so they would buy money for the games. Therefore, the companies, gaming companies, would be happy with that, so they can actually get more people to buy and play their game.
So I would just urge you to think about the question that Mehdi put to you. Exactly whom does the 20% go to? Because are you creating a second stream where you put the 20% in and then start investing in different gaming stocks? Or are you giving that money directly in? Because you would need to think about how to create a portfolio of gaming companies that are offering their stocks to be able to put in. So just give some thought to that, a little bit more thought to that as you go forward.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the information.
Fantastic. And I believe we had one more question. Mr. Stern, I saw your hand up. Would you like to, do you have something to say? I apologize for missing you earlier.
My colleague just asked the question I was going to ask, but let me ask you, thank you for your presentation. Who's your competition?
We don't have much of a competition because there's not many other people similar to us. Like there's investing for kids, but nothing in the way that we have it.
Not only that, some other competitors, that we do have would probably be just people deciding to put their money into the stock instead of just buying it from the game.
Exactly. So why do they come to you?
Because this is going to help them, because children, they don't really care about just investing. They care about being able to play games and get something out of it so the parents wouldn't be so angry all the time of them playing games. And it's just going to slowly bring them out of games and hopefully get them more interested and maybe even help them with the job in a way.
Thank you.
Can I add a quick little comment? Something that I would recommend that you look into. Currently, there are some companies that are looking at giving rewards for gamers. So as individuals and kids play games, they would get rewards, and sometimes in cryptocurrency. So the more time that you would spend and the better you become, the more rewards you may get. And you may want to explore a little bit who is in that space, because that would be comparable to what you're trying to do. Find some kind of financial rewards associated with the time spent playing. I think you're on something good over there.
Because we were thinking of adding, like, if you use Kidvester Premium, you get like a little extra game thing, but we didn't have that.
But it's a very good idea that you have. Thank you so much.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, judges. Thank you, Ava and Christian. Thank you for being so brave and presenting this kind of really novel idea. For me, at least, I know I haven't heard much about it at all. Audience, as again, we will probably put another question up for you. What do you think about this? Ooh. Well, I know what I'd be going for with this question. That would definitely be a no for me. Fantastic. Yeah, it looks like everyone seems to agree with me at this point in time. I like that. Okay, so it does seem that that is an absolutely novel idea. Well done, Ava and Christian, for coming up with something completely out of the box there. I think that's really cool. And I can see some of our Next finalists on already. They look pretty excited. This is also a sibling team. We have Christian and Ryan, and they are here to present to you something that will make your life a heck of a lot easier. So without further ado, the floor is yours.
Okay, let me just.
Wait. I have to put my. Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
No, I put my relative in.
Hi, I'm Maya Malone, the founder of Insta Handy. Actually, before we begin, what do you want in the handyman company? This is for the judges. Any questions? Any answers? You can unmute. You can unmute.
Could you repeat that question?
What would you want in a handyman company?
Reliability, efficiency, and effectiveness. I think to be good at your work, excellence.
Well, over at Insta Handy, we fix that and much more. We provide a platform where you can book the best handyman whenever you need one, as well as an e-commerce store where you can get the best furniture from the best stores. Over at Insta Handy, we don't just want to fix your problems. We want to do it with passion and enthusiasm, yet still providing the best quality content. Even though I'm the youngest contestant, I fit the criteria for the perfect partner. I'm curious, creative. I created this company because I saw a lack of passion and it still didn't fix my problem. After the semifinals, I was thinking to improve my pitch. So I hired the external consultant who had been working on a different project, Christian Wilwan. I hired Christian to give me an alternative view. I wanted a pair of fresh eyes to look at the idea. I also like bouncing ideas of others. I think I'm a team player. Christian would advise me on what a customer would want. For example,
when something breaks down in my house, I want it to be fixed fast, and I want it to be fixed well, and I want to pay a reasonable price.
Yes. Next slide. Our target audience are homeowners, renters, family people, and singles. Basically, most people. Our target location is Singapore to start and eventually Southeast Asia. Our target audience age group is 30 to 18 in Singapore because that's the age differential for house owners and the graph and everything. Comparison. Have you ever had a non-accommodating, non-compatible, clueless handyman? Well, we fix that with ingenuity in our ideas, yet still be hardworking and conversational. The market size for home services in Southeast Asia, allegedly, is $1.5 billion and it's set for to be even bigger. Since 2017, the handyman industry internationally has grown up to 49%. That's crazy. Property Guru, Crate & Barrel, and freelancers. These are just some of the potential collaborations. With freelancers, a higher employment rate. With Crate & Barrel, e-commerce opportunities. But with Property Guru, for every tendon that Property Guru has, we will offer free handyman service at a cost for Property Guru. You might be thinking, how do we get a validation that we had the best handyman? Well, over at Insta Handy, we provide at least 5 weeks of a training routine for all our employees, which are trained by only the best of the best teachers. Before we end, I'll make a summary for what makes us different. I did my research and our prices for gigs are on average 3/4 of the price of our competitors. Our pricing structure is trustworthy and transparent, so no hidden costs and no overcharging. We are reliable because we provide an accurate timing according to our customer schedule on our website. We provide only the best handyman with at least 5 weeks of training.
I point of pitfalls to Ryan and brainstorm solutions with him. If you have a handyman problem, we will solve it.
We always try to be safe and aware of any contact. If any concerns about safety for our employees, please call. And that's the end. Thank you for listening to our pitch, judges, and sharks.
Can I just say that I'm just absolutely staggered. When I was a lot older than both of you, and living in a very difficult country and going absolutely bananas because of rotten handymen, I thought I should start a business called I'll Fix It, but I never did. So I am so impressed at what you've just shared with us. But since I also live in Singapore and I know how expensive it all is, I want to just ask you what your revenue model is.
Basically, um, um, actually, the profit is since we have a lot of employees, we get more gigs, and we have get more profit, but and revenue. Sorry, but I think Pavan asked me a question in the semifinal that why would your employee choose to do your own company besides than opening using his own company himself, and for example undercutting me for example, because he only gets a percentage of what my 3/4 of my competition is. But then me and my mom's reply is that he would have to do all the marketing and advertising compared to and he would have to as well do the handyman work. Meanwhile, he would over at my company, I would have to do the advertising and marketing, and he would all he had to focus on is the handyman work. Yeah.
And have you heard of the foreign workers levy or the workers levy when you employ employees in Singapore? And have you built that cost into your revenue model?
Yes. But we also have freelancers, for example. It could be and we also have the employees that would want to work 3 times. So we have a lot of employees. That's one of my main things. Yeah. Wait, is it okay? Is this not part of my like pitch or anything? But I think I actually have a video that I might have. I've made a video that it's pretty weird. Wait, am I allowed to share the video, Ethan? Thank you.
Yeah, go for it, buddy.
Can I ask the questions after this?
Oh yeah, you can ask Kristen some questions while I prepare it. Yeah.
Mr. Singh, I've seen you smiling the entire presentation through. Is there anything you'd like to ask the boys?
Yes. No, I really like your partnership slide on how you're going to work with existing players and provide value to them via your service. So I think that's a very good idea, especially to differentiate yourself from your competitors. But I know that you all said y'all are going to charge 75% of what your competitors charge.
Yes.
Who are your competitors? One. And how are you confident that you're going to be able to undercut them by 25%? Because you do see that there's advertising costs, there's marketing costs, there's foreign worker levies. So what's your strategy to keep it cheaper?
There are several other competitors. For example, you got Sandhopper and Handyman.sg is not that good names, are they? But I think we undercut them because since I told this to my dad yesterday that since we have more employees, we'll get more gigs because we have a lot of freelancers. Then if we have more gigs, then we get a lot of revenue, and then after like all the wages and stuff, we will get a lot of. I think we might get some profit. So I think yeah.
So for your perspective, it's being able to get a pool of handymen that will work for you, and from that economies of scale, be able to charge more competitive prices.
Yeah, and I think because I'm like one of the younger ones, I'm more like nimble and humble. So for example, if I would like pay more money to a 50% wage, for example, 50% of the cut. Meanwhile, other companies, for example, the adults will do maybe 65 or 75% cut to them, and the rest is lowered for the others.
Right. No, thank you very much. I love your setup, by the way, Richard. It's very CEO-ish.
Oh yeah, it's okay if I share the video. I'm gonna share it right now. It's not that long. It's like 30 seconds. Oh yeah, you can't see it. Sorry, you can't see the video. So sorry. now?
We
Can you see it?
We can
Okay.
see it, mate.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ryan and Christian. You know, we even had a question from the audience asking if they could invest in your product. So clearly you've made quite the impact here. Thank you, folks. Thank you, judges, as well. We're going to move on to our next contestant after our next poll question. Just allow them a chance to move in and swap around.
Thank you.
Pleasure, mate. Oh gosh, here we go. I like this question. If you were a shark, would you invest right away or want them to go back to the drawing board? Looks like we have some very, very good critical thinkers here so far, all thinking about, oh, you know, think about a few things first, come back to us and we'll get there. I love that. That's all bit of business, bit part of business. That's how it goes. A few more seconds, just let everyone finish their polling, and all right. Wonderful. It is fantastic to see that there are a lot of people who would, and I loved seeing the fact that everyone is also listening to all these questions from judges and also trying to figure out whether they would invest. So that's great. I'm going to introduce our next participant. It is about 4 a.m. for him, so I'm very happy that he is on with us at the moment. Nico, the floor is yours.
Yeah, sorry. Hello, Sharks. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to hear about my business. Just for context, I am the under-13 goalie for the Geneva ice hockey team. With over 9 years of experience in this sport, I have identified areas for improvement. This is the birth of Rookie Match. So, what is Rookie Match? Oh, sorry, you didn't turn. It is an app that connects high school and middle school athletes with scouts and schools. So what does the app look like for scouts? It follows like a Tinder mechanism. So they will just swipe up for stats, swipe right to shortlist, swipe down for highlight reels, and swipe left for the next player. For the players on the other end, they will swipe up for the school record and info. They will swipe right to show interest. They will swipe down for player requirements, and they will swipe left for next school. Now, here are some features that the scouts will actually see. For stats, they can see goals, assists, etc. Highlight reels include game clips and training videos. The shortlist looks like this, and then when they will click on a player, we'll see all the required information, and they will also have an option to chat with players. This app solves a few problems. So firstly, the ratio of scouts to players is very low. This means that if you play on a small school, for a small school or a small team, you will probably not get recognized. Secondly, our competitors don't allow video upload or interaction. There will only be stats. And finally, high school and college applications have fees associated with them. So if a player doesn't know a school is interested, they could end up applying to 20 schools, which would be very expensive. So this is Rookie Match's value proposition. For players, they can upload highlight reels, they can watch training videos and learn more about tactics, in-game, and nutrition. For scouts, they can view prospects around the world, see stats and highlights, and connect with players. For the schools and corporate companies, they could advertise their programs and products, provide links and info. So how does this business make money? Well, we have 3 streams of revenue. We have the premium version for the players, the coaches and scouts, and the corporate companies. For the premium version for the players, in this option, they can upload more videos, they will have more swipes, they will see who swiped on you, so scouts or schools, and they will have less ads. For the coaches and scouts, they will see which players swiped on them or schools. They have unlimited swipes, they can start conversations, and they have an undo option if they accidentally swiped left. The corporate companies and schools can target their advertisements. Secondly, they will be disposed advanced campaign analytics, and schools can put their application forms. This is our market research. There are only 336 pro players in the Swiss National Ice Hockey League. As of the season 2018-2019, according to Statista, there are over 28,000 registered players of all ages in Switzerland. And according to the International Ice Hockey Federation, there are roughly around 1.5 million ice hockey players globally. From these stats, you can see that there are a lot of players, but not a lot of opportunities. Finally, Sharks, this is the vision. I have seen a lot of people around me that want to play ice hockey professionally, but they play on small teams so they don't get noticed. I also want to use this platform to increase the love for sports, as many children are now just sitting at home because of the advancement of technology, like games and sport and social media. Sports builds confidence, communication skills, and teamwork. I want to help every single person out there get one step closer to their dream of being a professional athlete. Thank you, Sharks, for listening to my pitch. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Absolutely loving the passion there, Nico. Judges, does anyone have any questions for Nico? Yes, Miss Devi, go for it. You've unmuted yourself, I believe.
Well, I just wanted to say it was absolutely mind-blowing, this presentation, and very, very, very insightful. I think the aspect that I liked, apart from the fact that you've done your research and you looked at the value proposition for everyone involved, is the idea of getting people to get out instead of sitting in their homes and doing video games. So congratulations, I'm very impressed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. And Mr. Muta here, I can see that you've raised your hand. Thank you.
Yes, Nico, this was a great presentation. I've seen a lot of things, but this reminded me of a group of students of mine that worked on something comparable. And my question that I had for them is the same that I'll have for you. Where do you think you will be able to collect the data? Is that data going to be submitted by the players, or is this public data that is going to be available elsewhere that you can scrape? And the second one, and I noticed that somebody else put it on the chat, have you considered expanding beyond hockey?
So yes, actually, because of the interest of time in this competition for my pitch, I have done a company path, which is the following. So first, I will make rookie match pilots over Switzerland to keep, the costs low. I will then try to launch it over Europe and globally. And the next step I want to do is actually put in other sports. So the second sport I'm going to introduce is actually soccer or football. And from there, I want to put all the sports. I was also thinking maybe about even putting music artists, painting artists, because basically that app could work for everything. So, and my last step is that I want to, in the 7 years, I want to have over 30 million athletes and users on this platform. So that is my goal.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judges, if I may, I have a question in the chat which I would love to hear Nico answer, actually. And that question was from Akshay, and it was this: how will you source your athletes? How will you get them involved in this platform?
So I was asked a question in semifinals, which was, what is the ratio in the whole wide world of players actually playing in high school and college, so they can enter teams and everything? And I did not did this research, but I tackled it like this, that there were 30 to 40% high school and college players. So like almost half of the people that play hockey are actually college and high school students. So like I can understand that problem. I like if I would convince someone to go on it is because like you spend less money, people can notice you better. You know, it's because for example me, I wanted to go actually to the US, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna do some tests, and you know, if I have a good grade I'll go. But it's not actually that. It's so much bigger and I don't even realize it. So I just want to help everyone that already realized that and still didn't, but try to like, you know it in the future. I want to try to put them on this platform and convince them that you have more chance to be seen and more chance to be picked and everything.
Fantastic, thank you. And I'll take one more question if it's okay. Mr. Singh, after you, please.
Thank you, Nico, for the presentation. Mine isn't so much a question as it is a comment. I like that you've separated your business plan into two parts. You focus on something that you know, which is ice hockey in Switzerland, and then you understand what the players' needs are. You understand where they want to be, and you're trying to fix that problem of finding a system that works in matching, in solving the information asymmetry and matching players to eventually become part of the elite league. Once you solve that problem, then you'll look to scale it horizontally into different sports, and also in terms of your geographically to different regions. So I think that's a very good approach to take. Always start with something you know, solve that problem, show it as your proof of concept, and then expand from there. So good job.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, judges. Again, wonderful presentation. Audience, as usual, we'll pop up a poll. Let's see what's sort of happening here. Nico, I would like to say there was a suggestion from one of the audience members. Maybe you could use high school coaches as well and use them to bring in some players and use them to source some players as well. So that could be quite cool too.
Yeah, thank you for the info.
Oh, I like this question. I have to say, not a big hockey player myself, but when you said football, I was definitely into it. That was my sweet spot. Or basketball. Actually, basketball could be huge too. 100%. All right. Thank you, everyone, for voting. This next presentation from our finalist, Via, is very close to my heart, I have to admit. I definitely could have used this application within the last few weeks if it had been there. So, Via, when you're ready, mate, the floor is yours.
Hello, Sharks. I'm Veer Javeri and I'm 15 years old. Today, I would like to present to you my business and real estate app, LifeBuy. I'm of the opinion that any business needs to be successful by building trust and forming connections. Here at LifeBuy, the not so frequent home buying process is one that's mutually appreciated by both the buyer and the seller. The motto we work on is never sell a house when we can sell a home. Our specialty is that we work on curating a lifestyle specifically tailored to our clients and one that lasts them the test of time. We do this by compiling data from all property mediums available, giving our clients the choicest selections. Finding one's ideal property is actually much easier than you think. All you need is the 5 fingers. 1, the place of work, your family age and size, your level of social interaction, the amenities you require, and your net worth. On our app, you'd start by registering yourself and giving your app GPS access to your phone. This will let you find a list of freelancing agents near you. Once you decide on an agent, you'd schedule a meeting. After the agent understands your 5 fingers, you'd receive a list within 2 working days via an app notification with a potential property pinpointed on the interactive map. Our map system is supplied by Google Maps, where on each property you would be able to take a virtual tour and see how its statistics and whereabouts link to your 5 fingers. For example, if you don't agree with the property selection, you could even send our agent feedback via the app and have it removed within 24 hours. You could, if you were unsure about a certain feature of a property, you could take a virtual reality tour of the property with the app. Also, you can even compare 2 properties and see which one is the best fit for you. The only way to have a successful business is through several revenue streams. Our first revenue stream would be the app downloads. We charge a ridiculously competitive fee of only $5 per app download. The second fee is the list for our agents and researchers to compile 6 to 10 properties, which is $25. Now, that's the end of the client fees. Now, this comes to the main part of the pie, our co-brokering commission. Here is when we would, since we are not a listing app, we're simply brokers. We enter a co-brokering deal with the listing agent of the property. We agree on a fair split that works in both of our favors. Now, with the USA housing market worth in excess of $30 trillion, 1/3 of Americans are looking to buy a house in the next 5 years, with 10% of the population within the next 1 year. We feel that LifeBuy will be able to capitalize on this due to our versatility and price range of our homes. How should you be sure? With LifeBuy, we give each of our buyers every tool available to make sure they're 100% certain with their decision. The last thing we want them to do is to make a choice that they're unhappy with. We find our homes by monitoring the market that our agents are in, so that they can propose these houses to our clients. After contacting the listing firm, we work out, as I said earlier, the commission split, and this would be in return for a sale. Now, which one of you sharks wants to live life with LifeBuy? Thank you.
I really enjoyed your motto in particular. That was very, very special for me. Judges, I hand it over to you. Miss Devi, go for it.
Just thank you for the presentation, Veer. I'm not very familiar with the US housing market, so I will defer to my 2 colleagues, Joe and Mehdi, who are based in Singapore. But what is it that you believe makes your proposition unique from your competitors in the market that already exist?
So currently, you must have heard of the US property site Zillow. It gives you all the tools to see a house, to take a virtual reality tour just like ours, but it doesn't let you integrate the house buying process in the website. Sure, you can call the agent, but the problem with Zillow is it's a listing app. So the amount of agents and properties they offer is very limited. With LifeBuy, since we're not a listing app, we don't have any upfront costs in order to list a property. We just have to make sure since our agents are freelancers, we have a commission split with them as well. So technically, we don't have any hiring costs, or we don't actually have any costs in terms of employees.
Thank you.
Lovely question. Maybe we can hear from one of our judges based in America right now. Yes, Mr. Mutahir.
So this was a great presentation. I'm actually a real estate entrepreneur myself, and I spend a lot of time on Zillow. They did announce, however, that they are getting into brokerage. So you're now competing with a public company that has billions of dollars taking over lots of smaller actual real estate companies in the United States. So how do you see yourself facing a giant that has already established itself in a number of different areas, not only in terms of showing listing homes, but actually helping brokering transactions?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I read about the new Zillow announcement, it would be their in-house brokers proposing each home. With us, since each of our brokers are freelancing, we select the cream of the cream brokers that have specialized in each area. For example, if you were looking for a house, we would, and if you were, let's say, in New York, we would only suggest brokers to you that have exponentially great number of sales with houses in New York, not apartments or condos. Our brokers are, since they're freelancing, we are able to provide a wide range of brokers that have a specialty in different niches.
Okay. And so maybe a follow-up question in terms of revenue model. So the freelance broker, the real estate agent that represents each side of the transaction are already getting commissions. What is going to be your cut?
I think a fair cut for us between LiveBuy and the freelancing broker would be 60-40 in favor of the broker. This is because we don't actually, the broker doesn't have to do anything. We take 40% because we're providing the broker with all the tools at their disposal to make the home marketable and make it open to the public. The broker isn't involved with any of the backroom work.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Mr. Stern. Oh, I'm sorry. I believe you're on mute right now. I apologize.
I'm sorry. I live in New York, and I've had the misfortune of buying a house and an apartment. And I feel very bad for the brokers who have worked for me because I'm very picky. And I wouldn't think about buying a piece of property based on a computer model. I want to see it, and that takes a lot of time. Who's actually going to do the work in your structure?
Do you mean the work in terms of viewing the properties or listing the properties on our app?
Showing me around, convincing me.
So that would be the if you remember in my presentation, I said that you could choose the agent that you feel the most comfortable with. So if you see that an agent has sold, let's say 100+ houses in the New York area, you could select him, and then you would have a conversation with him over the app. And then once he gets back to you with the list of 6 to 10 potential homes, you could then select 2 or 3 and then go view them with the broker.
Very interesting. Thank you.
And if I may add something myself, we now also, as we notice in America and New York especially, a lot of the real estate sales are through offices and industrial spaces. We do intend on adding up a section of our app to that, but I think that would need much more backing from greater companies, and the marketing would be best if, for example, we had the backing of Goldman Sachs, that their new office was provided to them by LiveBuy.
Like that. Very cool. Thank you, Via. That's all we have time for you today, but I really appreciate you answering these, and it's great stuff to hear from some of the judges as well. Particularly as this is very personal. Buying a home is a very personal thing, isn't it? So yeah, fantastic idea. Great, thank you. Let's see what we have on the poll this time, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, how thorough was the research for this business idea? I have to say this is an interesting one because I'm actually moving house in a couple of days, mate. So I definitely could have used your help at this particular point in time. So, bit of a shame that this is a little late. I definitely would have benefited. So I appreciate that, man. Anyway, from the looks of it, at the moment, we have some pretty split board. But we do have a lot of people thinking that you've done pretty well. I thought you did pretty well in terms of your research too. The Zillow information from Mr. Muti was a surprise to me, I must say, just being based in Singapore. So that was a bit cool. But ladies and gentlemen, we have our next pair of finalists on. This team is, this one is very close to their hearts, in fact, and not so much mine, but they're very passionate about it. And I can't wait for you guys to hear what they have to say. Janelle and Maria, the floor is yours.
Hi, we are Horrific, and our aim is to achieve happy dogs through recycling. This is our team. I'm Janelle and I'm Maria. And while everyone is trying to get you online, we are trying to encourage people to get offline for their mental health benefits.
So we realized that average good quality toy costs around $22, and we thought that was way too much. So we want to reduce this to around $12.
This is almost half. So if the consumer has more disposable income from the reduced prices, they can use this on other stuff such as savings on themselves or even more products for their dogs.
So the picture on your right is Kong, which is a widely popular dog toy manufacturer. They sell their classic toy at around $30. This is roughly $8 more than the average.
We've done our research and we found out that pet ownership in Singapore has grown by 19% from 2019 to reach 196,000. The pet care market size will be worth 202.6 billion by 2025.
80% of the industry's market revenue comes from small, medium-sized toys. Due to the global demand for indoor toys, and research has shown that having a pet can encourage less screen time. This is why we not only specialize in small, medium-sized toys. COVID will help reach to a surge in our demand for our toys, and this helps with health benefits as well.
So obviously we would reach some problems, but luckily we have some solutions, such as one of our problems would be economies of scale, such as high startup costs, advertising. But we can use resources we already have, such as social media and sharing the word through friends, which would also solve being a small startup, which no one would know much about us.
But how will we test our products? So we will do this by making a sample pack and giving this out to neighbors who we know have dogs and ask them to test our products.
There are two main target audiences. One of them is a family consisting of young children with the pet. And I know this from my experience because I have two younger brothers and we always pressure our parents to buy more toys for our dogs. And they can't really say no because they love our dog too.
A working millennial is another one of our target audience. This is because they're relatively new to the labor market, so they won't have enough time to spend time with their dog and don't need to keep their pet entertained. So we will face a lot of competition, such as Kong or Westpaw designs. However, we differentiate from our competition because we're not only a low price, but we are high in quality as well. So our products are cheap and they are made out of materials that are reusable or biodegradable. But what materials are we using?
We're using tennis balls, non-toxic ties, and rope. This is because we can take donations and recycle, and they can all be uniform, so we can keep the quality equal. So to picture one of our products, we could have a tennis ball, and we would obviously shave off the fuzz for health reasons, and we could drill holes or put rope in it, so you could put treats such as cream cheese or peanut butter for the dog.
Our value proposition is sweet but simple. We want it cheap but still good quality. To help the environment, we want to make it eco-friendly. But at the same time, we want it to be a fun activity for you and your pets.
Revenue and marketing. So we want to help not only us, but we want to help the society and environment too. So 45% of our profits will go to a monthly selected charity, 30% to employ local workers in need, 15% will go towards making new products, and 10% as savings.
But how will we market it? So what we will do is that we'll advertise through social media to raise brand awareness. We'll use pet influencers to help, and we will sell our products offline and online through retail shops and websites. Not only are while we are profit driven, we want to help our community and the environment. Thank you for listening.
Well done. Good stuff, that. I really enjoy that. I think people absolutely spoil their pets too often, which is a great market to go into. Judges, does anyone would comments, questions? Yes, Mr. Singh.
I think Miss Devi was about to say something. So.
No, go ahead, please.
Thank you so much, girls, for your presentation. I think, yes, the pet market is a very interesting one. But I wanted to pose a question to you because your competitors are pricing a certain. I don't think it's just for the cost of the good itself, but it's also because the pet industry is one of the most competitive industries because there are a lot of players selling pet toys and pet products. So a lot of that retail price that they set actually goes on marketing. So it goes on their ad spend, it goes on promoting the product, it goes on paying the influencers. My question to you is that I know that your value proposition is to try and create that same high quality experience at a low price, how will you be able to market it on the cheap so that you get to keep that price point? So what would be your strategy to market it better without the marketing costs?
So social media such as Instagram or TikTok is free. So we can market through that. Reaching out to pet influencers are also free. Things like that is how we can advertise our business. And due to the fact that our products are so cheap and making the materials we're using are also free, our profit margin is exactly the same or even bigger than the businesses like Kong at the moment.
If I may just follow through Navjeev's question, I'm a pet lover. I've had dogs all my life. Have you done some research on the life cycle of a toy for a dog? Because it's pretty short. You know, they really are interested in toys in a very overcrowded market. As he mentioned, you have a lot of competitors, lots of people going into biodegradable pet products because that's the way the world is changing. So have you thought about one, as he said, your competitors and how to position your product as a greater value proposition than those that exist? But also, have you thought about the life cycle of this particular toy in the lifespan of ownership for a dog?
Yes, we have, because our dog toy, it'll be specialized in medium to small dogs. So obviously they have different strengths. So by giving out some free testing products, we can see which dogs have different strengths for different breeds, and we can change it towards that. And obviously we don't know everything, but we have two specialized experts. One is a friend who's on the board of the SOSD, which is a dog charity, and one is a marketing executive in Sploot, which is one of Asia's largest dog manufacturers online. So we can also ask them for help too. Yeah.
And so what is the value proposition of your product? The main value proposition? Is it cost? Is it its biodegradable quality?
So obviously we want to help the climate. So one of our main value propositions is that it's reusable and it's recyclable materials. We are profit driven, but one of the main factors of why we stand out from competition is that we're also quite cheap.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, judges, and thank you, Maria and Janelle. Just one more question for you while you're at it. Was just wondering if you're going to be selling only from business to client, or are you going to be able to do this through a retail store option as well, like putting your products in a store area as well? Is that a way that you're going to get your stuff out there?
So we mentioned this in our marketing and revenue slide, where I said that we will be selling offline and online to retail shops and online to like websites. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thanks, appreciate that. Anyway, wonderful presentation, and thank you for that. Let's see what the poll has to say. Let's see what our viewers want to think about your product. Ooh. Interesting one. I assume 10 would be most challenging for this particular question. So let's see how this goes. Oh, and I'm loving that in the background. We already have our next finalist ready. So we will end this poll very shortly. Just let a few more people. There we go. Looks like some people think it could be quite challenging with $10,000. But you know what? If you guys are so passionate about it, I think you should go for it. I mean, that's how it is. Everyone gets a little bit of advice here and there, but it's what you guys think. Without further ado, let me introduce our next finalist. Matthew is a very young entrepreneur with a wonderful idea about trying to help our well-being. Matthew, the floor is yours.
Hello, Sharks and everybody else. My name is Matthew. Today I'm going to talk about Mindcore. Mindcore is a brainwave sensing headband that helps you refocus at workplace. It is a research-grade EEG device that senses your brainwaves and translates it into graphs to help you stay calm and focused at work. How it works? Well, this is how Mindcore works. Mindcore tracks how your brain responds at workplace. EEG shows that alpha band decreases in parts of the brain with increasing stress. The EEG uses 3 parameters in its algorithm to measure the stress effect. These 3 parameters are, number 1, attention, which indicates the intensity of mental focus. Number 2, blink detections, which shows whether the user indicates softer or stronger blinks. Number 3, mental effort. This can measure the mental load while performing a task. Product specifications. Number 1, EEG monitor, which is the brain of the band. If you didn't know, EEG stands for electric encephalogram, and what it does, it measures the magnitudes of the brain. And number 2, a battery level indicator to a battery life of 8 hours fully charged. Number 3, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi to pair your device at ease. Number 4, 1-year subscription for the app is included. Number 5, micro USB port plus a charging cable. Our pricing is a reasonable $89.99 for the band and $11.99 for the annual subscription to the app. But for your first year, you'll get the app free. Our target consumers are small and large businesses looking to increase employee efficiency. My name is Matthew Leo. I'm 10 years old. I was born in Singapore and currently live in Indonesia. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation. I'll be more than happy to take any questions now.
Wow, short, sweet. I love it. To the point. Miss Devi, looks like you've unmuted yourself. Do you have any comments or questions?
Well, I just want to congratulate him at this very tender age for thinking about something so technological. But my question to you is, would you as a student in your school want to have something around your head monitoring your own performance in school? How would that make you feel?
Well, if it can save your life, I wouldn't actually be worried about that. Because, for example, my product is detecting stress. Because a lot of people might not know this, but stress causes cancer, illnesses, mental health problems, and all kinds of sickness. And some people, they might not even know that they are stressed, and that actually causes them sickness. So this can definitely save people's life, and if it can save my life, I wouldn't worry about wearing it.
Thank you.
Good answer as well. I don't think I thought about that as much as I should have either. I think we all feel ourselves with a little bit of stress. Any of the other? Yes, Mr. Mutahir.
Wonderful presentation. I have a quick question for you. Did you do some research associated with the manufacturing and the costs associated with putting this together? It's a great idea, but when it comes to the execution and putting this product in the market, what kind of homework have you done?
I've done a lot of research, and believe it or not, the cost is not nearly as expensive as most people thought. Because in the cost that I made for this product, there's around a $20 profit margin there, because our technology is similar to like meditation devices and meditation apps. And those cost like $40 to make, and ours is a bit more expensive, but we're selling it at around $89.
Okay. Excellent.
So there's a huge profit margin.
Fantastic. I have a question from the audience, Matthew, for you. Is this product something that you would have to wear to sleep as well to test your stress levels? Or is this just going to be something that you wear at work or at school?
The thing is, when you wear it to sleep, you're already calm. So there's no point in wearing it anyway, because it will, on the graph, it will automatically show your brain waves levels like very calm. So there's no point wearing it to sleep.
Fantastic. Great. Yes, Mr. Stern.
How do you see, how do you plan on distributing this product? It sounds like it will be the need to find a retail outlet to get it out, and how will that affect your profits?
What do you mean?
Well, how is the customer going to buy your product? Where's
Well,
she going to
the
go?
medical health marketing is already huge. It's worth like, right now it's worth over $9.8 trillion. But because the marketing is huge, we're going to put advertisements, and we're going to try to convince people that this can actually save your life, because a lot of people don't know this. Like I said before, this is a lot of sickness is caused by stress. Most of deaths a year are actually caused by stress. So that's like a way we're going to market it.
Where will I buy it?
You can buy it like from our website, of course, and like probably some shops.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Matthew. I really appreciate the effort that you put into that presentation. Very short, sweet. I love it, to the point. Appreciate that, buddy. And obviously very cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, instead of a poll this time, I would like a little bit of audience interaction. So I'm going to ask this question. Maybe you can put some answers on the chat yourself. But I would just like to know, it's just going to be a yes/no question. Do you agree with the entrepreneur's revenue model for this particular business? What do you guys think? I have a couple of yeses rolling in already. Just to remind everyone, his business model was he's going to be selling it potentially at a retail store or at a website, as you answered, Mr. Stern. And then there's going to be a yearly subscription fee, I believe was what it was. So yes, that's what it was. Bit of a mix for our revenue model, actually. Nice. Actually, it's looking like a resounding yes from quite a few of our participants so far, which I'm quite happy with. So there are a couple of questions potentially about the retail stores, just as Mr. Stern had, but so far we will have the option. Maybe Matthew, if you can answer that in the chat yourself, that could work quite well. In the meantime, I would very much like to introduce our next finalist. I've worked with him for a little bit now, and I know just how much of a big heart he has. He's very impressive as a young man, and is absolutely my inspiration. So, Raiden, without further ado, mate, floor's yours.
All right, thank you. Judges, with the present situation that we're all in, startups, investors, and workers alike, it compromises us all to shudder to a halt. Judges, my name is Raiden, and what I bring to you today will strive for this world to keep going, with a project of mine called Filtro, an organization that provides hand-painted masks for hope. This presentation will be able to cover our story, what makes us different, the future that Filtro plans to build into, and how we'll do it. In a misplaced world that was caused by the pandemic, Filtro acts as a relief business that aims to ease the stress of this pandemic, one mask at a time. We're able to execute ample plans in regards to innovation by producing and selling artisanal masks, creating sanitary donations to empower those around us, and collaborate with other student-led initiatives such as us. Now, our mission runs much deeper than it seems. So far, 1 million people have been found COVID positive across Indonesia, with numbers on a steady rise. I've seen with my very own eyes how severe Indonesia and the world has suffered, and what Filtro does can be fueled by our immense want for change. This notion has driven us to amass towards heights we've never experienced before. Since our launch, Filtro has sold over 700 units, as shown here, gained 61 million Indonesian rupiah in revenue, more than 60 mass designs, and exactly 1,729 sanitary items donated. Now, what makes us stand out? On the surface, Filtro is no different in the realm of face masks, and our underlying differences will prove to be the main benefactors of our success. We are able to sell greater products as compared to our competition due to two main reasons. We have established ourselves as one of the most prominent mass businesses in the Indonesian community while supporting environmentally sustainable businesses for sourcing. This further allows us to offer our masks at a specialized price to be able to uphold a philanthropic nature, something that other competitors miss out on. Now, in regards to our business model, we have adequately compared them towards quality and price. We're able to take advantage of both these factors. Business approaches and products and philanthropic approaches as well are able to stand out with our satisfactory craftsmanship and quality, while being able to deliver at a favorable price. But of course, judges, none of us would want this pandemic to last longer. Filtro has been a startup built on capitalizing on such a worldwide transition, so one may ponder, what does the future hold for us? Filtro may just look like a mass company, but we want to go higher. I'm sure that a familiar name such as Nike has been paramount discussion amongst investors. They don't necessarily advise their products. They advertise the mindsets and the meanings behind them. They make you feel like a champion. I want Filtro to become a state of mind that changes the world by our very existence. Modern companies show that growth is based on two things: interest and, most importantly, purpose. In order to cater to an economically strong audience, Generation Z, we must deliver with a higher caliber. This is done with a clothing expansion and community building. And of course, future planning of such a magnitude will never confine itself. We plan to expand all throughout Indonesia, starting from the home of Jakarta, and sooner or later, we'll be empowering the entire world as we know it. In the face of execution, we recognize the many challenges that are present, and under operationalization, I will include how, what, and why Filtro will expand. We want to further uplift this community as a whole by educating people on social change and justice, and actively seek to fulfill the UNDP Sustainable Development Goals as our mandate. I hear the timer, if I may go on for a bit more, if that's totally okay. We have divided this into our clothing as well as our social community aspects. This will show people that Filtro is not only just a company, but a company that genuinely cares about its community and is socially just. What differs us is the meaning behind our brand. Due to our very progressive, our very open customer base, as well as the precedent of change that is greatly needed, we believe that we will change the world with our very existence. Thank you for listening, judges. Now, I want every element of this business to better the world, and I'd like to cordially invite you all to join this journey to a brighter future. Thank you. I'm open towards any questions and feedback.
Just want to congratulate you very much on a very thoughtfully presented proposition. And the fact that at your age you have thought about the UNDP Sustainable Development Goals, because as you know, Indonesia is one of the most polluted countries in the world when it comes to rubbish disposal. So rather than asking you some of the more technical questions about revenue models, etc., I want to ask you a little bit more on a sustainable question for disposal of these products. You know, and I'm sure because you've done some research, there is a lot of concern about the disposing of masks and what it is doing to the environment. So I just wanted to understand a little bit on how much work you've done on that aspect of your product.
Thank you for asking this question. Now, despite the UNDP being part of our future plans, we have already incorporated the mandate and the inspiration of the UNDP Sustainable Development Goals in every inch of our being. I understand that the question may arise of how environmentally clean our products may be. And as mentioned in how we differ against our competitors, Filtro is able to use not only economically environmentally sourced masks that are also clean towards the community, but are also multiple use. We recognize the main problem and the main shortage in Indonesia's mask industry, since most masks that are being retailed right now, they're easily disposable and are single use most of the time. Hence, Filtro would like to bring a more creative twist to this, yet also be able to foster Indonesian health by creating masks that are able to be used multiple times. And with this notion in mind, Filtro has thoroughly tested each of our masks, and they have lasted for at least months of use, considering that we have only been up for a few months. And these masks have been tested over hundreds of washes and uses. Hence, with this, we believe that Filtro has already solved some of the SDG problems that have arisen in Indonesia.
Thank you. So you were talking really more about use. I was talking a little bit about disposal. So one of the things that is very important is that masks that are being used should be better biodegradable so they don't impact the environment. They don't get thrown into rivers and the elastics get caught up with fish, things like that. Have you thought a little bit about that?
Thank you for asking. Follow-up. Yes, we have. The cloth and the fabric that each of our masks is sourced from, they are all biodegradable and recyclable as well. We have also tested this out with our very own prototypes and as well as our biodegradable fabric print that we use.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Mr. Singh, questions, comments?
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation. I thought you thought things out very clearly, and you were very clear in your presentation. Sustainable fashion is it's a very big problem at this point because of the fashion industry being culprits for being very irresponsible in how they dispose of unused clothing. So it's a very interesting line to get into for your future growth, and it's very much aligned with the SDG. So I do think that you are solving a very interesting problem, especially in this part of the world. What I wanted to hear a bit more about is, from what I understand, you're already producing these masks. So I know that you're aiming to be a social enterprise that's very focused on the social element of business, which is great. How currently do you think of producing these masks? So do you work with local co-ops whereby you have certain types of people that are currently underemployed to produce these masks? What is your plan for production, and how are you currently selling these masks? What channels are you using? Because while masks is a very hot topic at this point, there's also a lot of people that are in that space. So how do you reach your customers, and how do you plan to continue reaching your customers?
Thank you for asking this question. As for our production, each of our sources have been carefully checked to be environmentally clean, sustainable, as well as eco-friendly. And with this production, we have also been able to distribute these masks online. So since we cooperate in Jakarta, and keeping in mind the current state of the pandemic, we usually distribute our products through our Instagram, which I will be including in the chat after this, as well as through an online site called Tokopedia. If those in Singapore are familiar, this is where we can also sell our products. And of course, in the future, as I mentioned before, Filtro will not confine ourselves towards Jakarta. We plan to be much more international, to be able to sell to countries such as Singapore, India, Malaysia. And in the near future, if we become much more successful, we plan to import towards countries such as the Americas in the case that our startup is able to grow much bigger. And in terms of ethical production, in a sense, all of the workers, we have also cross-checked that the treatment has been very adequate, and the masks they're producing are not out of violent intent. In the future, we also aim to help this, as well as solve a few of the SDGs at once by killing two birds with one stone, by being able to hire those in need and provide them with a good pay, as well as a good exposure towards the modern market, by allowing us to produce sustainable masks, sustainable clothing. And with their help, we can also eliminate the problems with poverty, and by then also eliminate the lack of adequate resources that people can access. So with this, I'd like to answer that.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Raiden. Judges, that's all we have time for at the moment. Raiden, thank you for giving such a wonderful presentation at this point in time. There is one question we'd like to answer from the audience just before you pop off, which is, how much are these masks actually going to set someone back?
All right, so in terms of Indonesian rupiah, it would cost about 30,000 towards 150,000. However, in US dollars, this means that our mask can range from 2 to 10 US dollars. And to those who would like to reach out straight after this, I'll be posting the various links that Filtro has towards where you can reach us out. And if possible, maybe support us and get a few products or two. That would be greatly appreciated.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Raiden. All right, that's where we're going to end with Raiden. For now, we have one final finalist, but at this point in time, since there was such great response on the chat last time, I'm going to stick with that. So I hope that that's okay with everyone. But I would like to ask you guys this. Would this be a company that you would like to join on its mission? So as much as it is masks at this point in time, he mentioned that he wanted to become like this global idea, sort of like what Nike is and what they've done. Is that something that anyone in the audience at this point in time would be keen to be a part of? Or is that something that's a little less on your mind right now? Ah, yes. So pretty much what Matthew has asked about, what if coronavirus is going to end? So that's the idea, that we're trying to get the overarching feel behind it all, which should be quite interesting at the same time. Oh, we've got quite a few yeses coming through. Wonderful. Oh. All right. Fantastic. Oh, yes, we have a judge in there as well. Woohoo! I love that. So I had to get this out at some point. But without further ado, we have one final finalist here right now with us. His name is Dennis. He is also up very early in the morning, but he has a pretty cool idea for some kids around the block. So Dennis, without further ado, mate, floor is yours.
All right. So today I am here to present you New Banker. But first, I would like to thank you all for coming here today to listen to me pitch my business. My name is Dennis and I'm 11. New Banker, the banking education app for kids. You see, most children know nothing about banking. Have you ever thought that? Right, okay. So 75% of parents who give their kids an allowance give it so they can save money. But sadly, only 3% of parents say their kid primarily save their money. And our app is determined to change that. So this is how the app works. You get New Banker for $13 with a hacker-proof account and a debit card. Then you can make transactions through the account with the debit card. So let's say he wants to buy clothes from Amazon, then he can do that with his account. And the parents set up the child's bank account first, but yes. So they set it up by putting in their bank details. And the child basically, they link their bank account to the child's New Banker account. And then the child can then use the account for whatever he wants with the allowance that the parents give him. But to be more precise, this is an example scenario. So let's say they put in 100 USD to the account. Then they can customize interest rates. So let's say he gets more interest if he spends less money. So if he spends $5, he gets 1% interest. If he spends $0, he gets 50% interest, so on. So then you can also get a money lock protection. So let's say they set beforehand, so their kid can only spend 35% of their money or so. And we're also planning to gamify the learning by providing points and badges. So it also teaches. You will also be able to donate automatically to any charity you want with the money in the child's bank account. And we're also planning to collaborate with Honey to get the consumers the best deals. And did you know that 64% of consumers that are online wait for items to go on sale? So our business model. We intend to target parents of 7 to 16-year-olds as our primary customer. And our sources of revenue will be selling cards and charging annual fees. Our first year price tactic, well, we're going to offer the debit cards for free. We're going to use DBS as our banking partner, and Visa and PayPal for the safe transactions online and offline, and Honey to get the consumers the best price. We're also going to use Norton antivirus for no hackers. But not to worry, there are many other variations like Avast antivirus or Citibank. So if a company decides to not do a partnership with us, there are always second or third choices. So this is why you should invest in us. It's a high potential business. It appeals to most parents surveyed. Around 15 parents were surveyed and 5 kids were surveyed. All of them love the idea. On a scale of 10, they voted around 9 and 10. So our low operating cost. So our startup costs include building the app and marketing it. But after that, the operation costs are very low, only bug fixes here and then. And our key partners don't levy high fees on users. And we have great profit margins. A card costs 10 cents and can be sold for $3. And the app, after the startup cost, it doesn't cost anything other than the operating cost, and it will be sold for $13 a year. So yes, invest in me because I reach for the stars and never give up.
Very cool idea. Thank you very much, Dennis. I love that. Absolutely. I don't think I saved too much. I think I still use a piggy bank actually. Anyway, sorry, Mr. Mutahir.
Thank you, Dennis. I love the idea of parents being able to set various interest rates in order to shape behavior and especially to encourage saving. So I just wanted to share that this idea of being able to customize rates to encourage a particular behavior is wonderful. Just a thought or maybe a recommendation. I think current parents, maybe millennials in general, Generation Z would be a little bit less concerned. But if I was a parent right now, I would not be willing to connect my bank to my kid's bank for them to be able to have direct online transactions. However, there may be alternatives that are existing on the market that you could prototype things with, maybe gift cards that you populate. So I just wanted to know if you have looked a little bit about the concerns of parents opening their account information and connecting their children's accounts to them.
Oh, there's a slight misunderstanding. I said that because the money doesn't come out of nowhere. But when the parent connects their account to the child's account, they input the money, and the child can't use money from the parent's bank account. They just, the money may add on, and the parents, it's just for automatic transactions. The parent's bank accounts are, but the child can't like directly withdraw from the parent's bank account. The parents set the interest rates, and the money goes from parents to child's bank account. But the child can't be like, oh, I want $100 from my parents and take it out. So it's just the child can't actually spend the money from their parents' bank account. It's their own bank.
Okay, so they only have a card, so that they don't have their own account that they can manage. It's just a card with a certain amount that the parents determine. Okay, thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome.
So is it really like a cash card that you're talking about, that the parent puts in money like a cash card, and then they then fill it up again when the child uses up the money on the cash card, and the interest rate is kind of linked to the spend or the saving? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but it doesn't fill up. It just fills up with the monthly allowance the parent might want to give her. If the child gets $100 for his birthday, he gives it to his parents. So they put in their wallet, and on his digital account, they'll put in an extra $100 or so. But it doesn't fill up.
Right. So how does the child demonstrate the spend?
So he can have a display on his phone that shows him, oh, you spent this much money this month, or this is how much money you have left.
And it's spent against a debit card. So it's a little bit confusing. We're just trying to understand where the debit card link comes in.
Oh, the debit card. It's just what he uses for online transactions. Like, it'll have a number on it, and then he can use it for online transactions because he'll just use his own debit card number. So he doesn't use his parents'. And also it's a debit card, so he can use it on ATMs.
Yes, but which account is that linked to? That was the question Mr. Mohatir was asking.
The debit card's linked to the child's account.
I see. So that means that the parent has to create an account for the child first with a certain amount. But there are costs linked to these things as well. Have you built those in?
I didn't understand your question, sorry.
You can only get a debit card if you have a certain amount in a bank against which they will issue you a card. So you're suggesting that the parents open a new account for a child, and this debit card is linked to that particular account. Now, either the child can save the amount that goes into that account every month and then gets points for how much they've saved, or doesn't get any interest based on whatever because they've spent a lot of money. Is that what the explanation is?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And Mr. Stern.
Dennis, I work at a bank, and I got to tell you, I wish you worked in my bank. We could use you. Who's your competition, if you have any? And why do you think, if you don't have any, why do you think this underserved population hasn't been served underserved population, meaning kids who are getting an allowance from their parents?
I think it might come from a certain problem in our society these days where adults might sometimes treat kids as their kids, but not as like equals intellectually or with saving money or in the real world, not equally as the parents.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, judges. Just as we finish off here, I'm going to just again toss you guys a question to toss into the chat. I think this is a tough one to do, so I would like, there could be a little bit of a debate here potentially in the chat, but we'll see. Let's see what happens. On a scale of 1 to 10, sort of how risky is the business given the current market conditions? I know there are a couple of concerns from judges. I know that there were some judges who really liked it as well. So there's a few things to think about with this audience. But what do you think? How risky is the business given the current market conditions? About a 6 right now. Not too risky. Not too risky in some reasons. Okay. Fair enough. I think we've got quite a few answers that are going for not risky right now. So that's a cool idea, Dennis. Thank you very much for your presentation. We really enjoyed it. Folks, just to wrap up here, I would love to cordially invite each of the judges to just possibly present a couple of their thoughts, their comments on the proceedings that we've had here today. I know that some of the students were really quite excited about presenting to you guys today, and they're actually chomping at the bit. So that was quite a thing. If you don't mind, I would love to call on Mr. Navjit Singh first to perhaps present a few comments for us.
Sure. Thank you very much. I have to say I'm rather blown away that, you know, everyone here is 9 to 15 years old and you all have come up with very thoughtful presentations. You all are able to very clearly articulate your business and also be able to handle relatively difficult questions. Some of the questions the other sharks asked, I wouldn't have been able to answer as well as you guys did. So fantastic job. I think coming into the top 10 is already an achievement in and of itself. And I think my recommendation for you is to not lose this spirit, regardless of what happens. Keep thinking along these lines of how you can address this difficult societal problems, these business opportunities. And my recommendation would be to look at the next step. Now that you have thought of great ideas, how do you break it down into something you can do today? And how can you build on that something and continually grow on it? And I think the lessons that you'll learn from that will be very useful for you in future, be it when you do your own startup and grow it into the next unicorn, or be it if you were to work in a small or big organization. So great work, very, very inspiring for me personally, and I wish you all the best, not only for this competition, but also for the years ahead. Excellent job, everyone.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate those comments. Mr. Joseph Stern, may I please invite you to make a few comments?
Sure. Thank you, contestants. You are all fabulous. I wish I could actually invest in each of you because you're going to be incredibly successful, all of you. I just urge you to keep yourselves open-minded about opportunities. And I think the thing that impressed me the most about all of you is that in addition to speaking very well with your planned speech, and they were great, you listened and responded to our questions with excellence, and thank you and congratulations.
Fantastic, thank you. Ms. Preeti Devi, may I invite you to make a few comments?
I echo the sentiments of both the two judges who spoke before me. I cannot tell you how impressed I am with everyone who presented today. The only thing I would just urge all of you to keep in mind is, as the entrepreneurs of the next generation and of the future, do always keep in mind the question when you are developing a new idea or a project or a business: what is the good that my business can do for society, for the environment, and generally for people that are less privileged. If you're able to do that, you will probably be better entrepreneurs than the entrepreneurs that have come before you. So congratulations. It was such an enjoyable event. And please go forward, keep dreaming, and keep doing these wonderful things that you are doing.
Fantastic, thank you. And last but definitely not least, Mr. Mehdi Muta here.
Thank you so much. This was so refreshing and rewarding. I've never had this much fun at this late. It's 11 p.m. right now in Providence, but I was just so excited to hear this. One thing that's just a quick anecdote and then a comment. About a decade ago, Devi was actually my student. And what separates Devi and students like Devi that become successful entrepreneurs is something beyond the idea. It is the capacity to execute and to the capacity to execute on this minimal viable solution. What could you do tomorrow? What could you do for next week? Or what could you do for next month? You will change the world eventually, but it will start by the next step that you will take within the next few minutes or the next few days. And that's really what I would recommend. Planning and business plans are great. Pitches are awesome. You have made great presentations. But now the proof is in the pudding. Get to work and build something. So before you go to sleep today, do something that is tangible where you can start proving some of your hypotheses way before you approach investors and way before you approach individuals that you would like to put some money in your enterprises. And thank you for being so inspiring, and thank you for including me.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, judges. I really appreciate that. I know my head is swimming. I saw this a week ago, and so this is my second time seeing some folks, but my head is still swimming. They've come such a long way in just a week as well. I would like to hand the floor over to Miss Devi Sani, if that's possible right now.
Great, thank you. Students, I am so proud of you. I think we've worked with you personally, and the way that you just showed up and killed it, I cannot be more proud. I feel almost like a parent, even though I'm not. And it really, really, whether you win or not, there's so many more competitions that we're going to have in the next month, next 2 months. We're going to have a women entrepreneurship one. So proud of you. Judges, Joe, Preeti, Mehdi, Navjeev, you are all mentors to me, and I'm so honored and grateful that you're able to carry that forward and be mentors to these students. So thank you so much for your time. I know that 2 hours on a Zoom call on the weekend is not an idea of a party, but I do hope that it was somewhat of a party and inspiring for you guys as well. With that said, I'm going to let Pavan, my COO, give a closing speech and what we're all waiting for. Who are the 2 winners of this competition?
All right. Hello, everyone. Wow, that was such an exhilarating event. I am extremely honored to have been a part of these students' first entrepreneurial journey. I can guarantee you that, in the time that I've worked with so many students on entrepreneurship, I have learned a lot more than I ever expected. So just a small little story. At the start of every entrepreneurship program, I ask the students, what does entrepreneurship mean? What do you think it means? If you can give me a word or, a small little definition. And a lot of those kids talk about, it means owning your own business. It means, being successful and things like that. But there was one student, and that one student said that entrepreneurship means freedom. The freedom to live your dream and maybe be successful. And, when I heard that, that's when I realized the absolute power of this subject. And, since then, we've focused purely on what is the application of knowledge? How can we help kids build businesses around things that matter to them, whilst also continuously sculpting their confidence and their communication. Every single child has something that could make them a great entrepreneur. It's just that sometimes they don't know it yet. And to everyone who came here, you've just witnessed what is kind of the living goal of Ascend Now, which is to build students for tomorrow. And I promise you, this is only the beginning. Our entrepreneurship contests, courses, and our impact is only going to grow bigger, and we aren't going to stop until we get there. But we could not have done it without the support of each and every one of you here. So I just want to thank you all for that support. And now, coming to the $1 million question of who has won Shark Tank. I'm going to start off by first saying everyone has gotten amazing scores, and it's been really, really, really tight. So to pick 2 winners out of the 9 finalists that we had today is something that was really, really hard. So coming in at second place is Raiden and his idea of Filtro. It's an amazing business that he has already, executed on. So we are super proud of him, and we only look forward to seeing how much more he can benefit and impact the community. And for our number 1 spot, we have all the way from Switzerland, Nico Arcia, who won based on his idea of Rookie Match, the idea that helps connect student athletes to coaches and scouts while also allowing schools to advertise their programs. So congratulations to both of you. We will be getting in touch with you personally, right? We are so proud of every single person who presented today. And I just want to say thank you to the judges. Thank you to the audience. You've taken time off for it. Nico, how you feeling, buddy?
Feel free to switch on your video if you'd like.
Oh my God, bro. I am so proud of you.
Thanks.
All right. Yeah, congratulations, man. Well done. Well done. All your hard work has paid off. This is absolutely beautiful. These are the kind of moments that we live and work tirelessly for. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, finalists. I could not be more than happy with how this event has turned out. And if you have any questions about Ascend Now, what we do, how you'd like to help, how you'd like to come on board, please feel free to reach out to us on our website. This is just a wonderful time to be alive. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Fabulous job. Thank you.
You great work, everyone.
Well done, everyone. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Nico, bien fait.
Yeah, buddy, good job,
bravo,
man.
Bravo.
Very well done as well. I don't know if he's still on, if you want to share your video.
Raiden is still on. Let me just.
Yes, Raiden is still on as well.
You're not on anymore?
Yes, I am.
Wow.
This is our first and second place. Well done, folks.
Yeah.
Well done to everyone. I think all of you guys did so well.
Yeah. It's wow. It's amazing, guys. Great job. Attendees also that watched. Everyone participated so much in the chat section. Everyone asked questions, comments. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful event. So, yep.
If any of the other contestants want to switch on their video and say any words, feel free to. We're going to stick around for a bit.
Hold on. I need to promote them too.